Warning,
No warning.
Straight in.
Straight into it.
Alright, so we've got a couple of questions for Shoopy Boy.
Cool. What are we doing? He's going through the questions that have been sent in from the players.
Yeah.
Have you added some of your own as well?
So my plan was, because I have never, ever planned anything ever in
Nice.
my life,
It's all good. I like it.
was I was just going to YOLO it.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play.
So maybe I'll sneak in my own questions in between some of these. But I have had a look through these and they cover quite a lot, so I'm not sure I've got enough room to sneak anything into.
Yeah, I have not seen these. I am not prepared for these. These have all been sent in. And as Sam said, I don't plan a lot. So yeah, Baydia has been made up session by session, really. So I have key story points. So I'm not sure how much I've had to fill in, but we'll go from there.
We'll figure it out. I'll move slightly back as well, so you don't look like a midget.
I mean, I am a
midget. Yeah, so I think the first set of questions is kind of just generally about D&D.
Okay.
So the very first one is, how long have you been playing D&D, Shu?
Pretty much since we started doing Baydia, to be honest. Literally, it was. I'm trying to think back to when it was. So Christmas, I got a few more books. Before that was when because I bought it myself because I wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
So I bought the. I actually have it here. I bought the start pack, which has 3 of the. Oh, such crap in here. Oh, the joys of not being prepared for a video format.
It's alright.
Hey, lovely job. I bought this, which is a little pack that comes with player handbook, dungeon master guide, monster manual, and a little like DM screen as well.
Oh, nice.
And this is normally about like 150 quid. I got a sale for like 60.
Oh, that's pretty
good.
So
I was like, bargain, because these books are about 40 quid each.
Yeah,
so I was like, job year. And that was, probably say about a year ago now. Just over a year. Well, we've been doing Baydia for, next was 10 sessions. I need 10 months. So probably about a year and a half. Fucking hell, that sounds fun. Probably about a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
that was it. I've always had an interest in it. Obviously, we did Cuckoos like 5 years ago.
Ages ago, yeah.
But that was a homebrew spin-off rulebook, which I copied off of the Big Punch dudes. So it wasn't like official D&D, but it was that kind of role-play storytelling. So technically 6 years, but properly about a year and a half is the easy one for that. And yeah, it's always been something interested in. It's just a fucking time sink. And now we're doing it, it's even more of a time sink. So
yeah, so this is where I'm going to throw in one of my own questions.
Do it.
What kind of stoked the interest in D&D for you?
I've always liked writing stories and shit. I feel like I'm quite creative, but I never actually commit to any of it, so I can never actually be asked to write it down or do anything. Which is why I think the way I'm doing Baydia is working, because I have the ideas, but doing it session to session means I can kind of change them on the fly.
Yeah.
It also means I get situations like this where I haven't planned for the next session yet. It's in a week, so it's like fuck. But yeah, it's good. I like the storytelling aspect, and I think I just like people's reactions to shit and what they do. So actually playing with a massive group as well. Like when we have 9 for one session, it's insane to see what everyone does. And I like reacting to people sort of stuff like that. So that's kind of getting to play something stupid with mates where they just make stupid decisions is the best part.
Yeah.
Because then I can make more fun out of it, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a question about that later. Don't worry about it. What attracts you most about D&D? Chaos. It's always the chaos.
It's always the chaos. I think it's the storytelling, but from players and stuff as well. Like I can make the world, I can make NPCs, I can make them do all this. Can never predict what's going to be big. Like I'd say probably the biggest thing in our campaign so far is Phoebe, just the big orc
for
with
sure,
the tiny clothing, and that was just easy. He was going to be a funny. That was the improv on the moment decision to make his clothes tiny. He was just going to be a well dressed orc in a suit, and I went, I'll make it tiny, give him a really big popped collars and. Yeah, he's been a massive hit. And then all the stuff people come out with, stupid or fun as it may be. I mean, we've had stupid stuff. And then 2 sessions ago was a half-hour heart-to-heart between Zuzu and Aralister.
Yeah, with the
stuff.
The
so
demon.
So seeing how like it also comes at that side as well is brilliant. So yeah, I think it's seeing what people come up with and what stories we can make from it is the thing that keeps me going more.
Yeah, I really like the character interactions.
Yeah.
Because there's you know nothing about the other person, right? You've effectively just met a random person, and you're moved up, and you kind of have to figure out, okay, how do I feel about this person, you know, and all of that, and that's why Zuzu is terrified of Aralisa.
Yes, that's where it's coming from.
Even more so now.
Yes.
So, what made you decide to start your own campaign? We kind of briefly talked about this in your.
Yeah, I've got. I bought the books. I've got the starter sets. I've got the Rick and Morty starter set. The Stranger Things one. Like, we could have run with any of those stories to get started, but we've had the idea of Baydia before. I tried to do a Baydia D&D thing before, didn't we? We had Sam in as well. And that was Susie Blue, Joe Black, and Zaon's dude who couldn't kill slimes, and then Susie Blue one kicked them all. So yeah, we had the kind of world, and we did that stream a few years back where we made the world, and obviously Sleazy made the map.
Big map. Yeah.
So I kind of thought making a campaign set in that world would be easy enough because it's already a fantasy setting, fairly similar to 5th edition, and we already had the map made. So I kind of figured it was a nice way to tie it all in without having to be constrained to an existing story and trying to do that.
Yeah, so now I'm starting to feel like you're reading ahead on the questions because
I'm not.
The very next one was how did you come up with the world of Baydia, which you have just answered.
Cool. Yeah, we did a stream probably about 4 years ago where we made a D&D world using, I can't remember what software it was. I found a website.
It was some hex thing.
You change hexes, and I found a set of rules where you could each round you earn points, and you could spend points to make a city, make a civilization, destroy a city, or you could save up and do a cataclysmic effect or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think Josh saved them all up, and it was we made towns and stuff, and he went, "Cool, meteor on this town," and then that's where I think that's one of Gundrum Neo. Actually, it was originally a city, which is now. That's why it's just rocks and stuff, because it was actually blown up with a meteor, I think. Which is why it's now, yeah.
Yeah, my favourite thing was that I literally spent the entire thing just going water. And then right at the end, city in the middle.
And that's still there. That's right.
Still
That's still coming up. And that's got, I'm excited about some of the story fan things. That'll be cool to get.
What I want to know is, why did you go with a full campaign instead of a one-shot first?
I think it's just because I had so many ideas of different things I wanted us to do. So it could have been a one shot. I feel like it could have been handled better to start with, because effectively session 1 was our session 0. To figure out the characters and figure out what we're doing. The fact I've gone through and named them 1, 2, 3 is now pissing me off because I forgot to highlight the first one. And if I go back and change them all now, I'm like, session numbers all don't get out of whack.
Well, it's the same with the recap. There's no recap 1.
Yeah.
Because
there didn't really need to be. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Well, okay, so there was a recap 1.
Yeah.
But it's never been saved to YouTube. I think the video has been lost because it was the original boop 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 one.
Yes.
Where we just boot through all the combat.
I think I have that on my computer. I think you sent me the MP4 file.
Yeah.
So it might be salvageable.
Maybe it is.
But it is a one that it's a random way of doing it. I feel like we could have done a few one shots, but yeah, because we'd already right off the bat had the worlds and had ideas, and the fact we had 9 people right off the bat interested, I thought, well, we can make this a campaign because with the time difference as well, there would always be 4 or 5. Because I know the Americas and all the other places and stuff, like Netherlands or whatnot, makes it more of a pain to try and figure out time difference sometimes. But it's worked out quite nicely so far. So yeah, I guess it should have been a few one shots, but fuck it, we just dived straight in, and now it's starting from level 1 and we're going from there.
Yeah.
So, great fun so far.
Yeah, so this next question is going to reveal how little you've actually planned.
Sweet.
But how long did it take you to create the world of Baydia? That is in past tense, as if you've already finished it.
Well, the world, we have a full world map. I know what is where and where everything is. That was 4 years ago, and that was on a 2.5 hour stream. So there's your answer for that. In terms of the world, that's the thing. I already know the story. I already know the key story points. I know where they are, how are we going to get to them, and how it's going to interact. It's all the stuff in between I haven't planned. And I feel like I can't plan that because depending on how it goes session, things will change. I mean, the Dark Forest we've just done was planned as the session 3 encounter.
Yeah.
And then we ended up just going back down and doing the waterfront instead for the Van Doyles.
Hopefully that Elemental wasn't there in the level 3.
It wasn't. Okay. I mentioned before, it was just going to be wolves, and it was going to be the druid. Literally, it was wolves, and it was going to have Talaran, who was going to be the druid, who became the wolf to help you in the fight. That was it. And then Amara gave me a backstory with Wilbur and these other stuff, and I was like, cool, throw the bears in. And then it was like, oh, you guys are higher level, and wolves aren't a challenge. Fucking elemental. Have it. And yeah, that turned out to be more of a challenge than I even thought. It's a challenge for monster, meaning party of 3 or 4
4
level 4s
yeah.
could take it out quite easily.
Yeah.
We had a party of like 6 level 4s, and Unique died. So it was like,
well,
mostly didn't take damage.
We had
but
4 level 4s, really.
Well, yeah, to be fair, yeah, 2 of them took themselves out. Actually.
4.5.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. So yeah, it's currently being planned. I feel like I've planned as much as I can, because all the other stuff is the interactions that happen at places, but the places and the things are all there. So planned enough, I guess. It's not. Right? It's planned enough for now.
It's good enough. It's good enough.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of being DM?
Probably the people reactions. They're probably the just stupid interactions and the stupid things we can come up with. Like, I can make the fights. I enjoy planning fights. I found it harder to do RP to start with, but I feel like I've got better at doing that now. But yeah, I think it is just seeing what people do and just seeing how they interact with the world and stuff, and the roll of the dice. First session, Goliath couldn't open the door, but the tiefling ripped the whole wall off.
Yeah.
Just because of a roll of a dice. Like, it's stupid and it's so fun. So yeah, I think it is just, and it happens that we've got a really good group and we're all really good friends, and we just so much stupid shit we can get up to together. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So when are you gonna DM some voices?
Probably not this session. Hopefully next.
Next session?
So what are we on? 11, maybe 11, if not 12.
You coming forward for the round 10? Special 10?
I've barely planned anything. I can't fucking do voices as well as planning it.
Well, if you don't see any NPCs, you've done it.
Well, yeah, exactly. So there we go. See, you've heard it here first. There's no NPCs next time, so there's no voices. I like to do voices. I have some that I can kind of already do, but not enough to really commit to some characters. But I've downloaded some voice mods to play with. I know Amara has been using some in her campaigns, so I want to play around with them, which could make part of it easier. I've got one where it's not like a modulator, it's just you can pitch certain things up and down.
Kind of thing, yeah.
So I might just go for something more like that. So rather than making like robotic voices, it's just different people will have slightly higher or lower pitches and twangs and stuff. Because then it's still me, but slightly changed.
So here's a sneak peek, but I am very strongly considering for the next episode giving Lumi a voice.
Very nice.
But I have to run it by you first.
Okay.
So,
no, it's highly
so
racist.
this is my Lumi voice. How do you think about my Lumi voice?
That's okay. It's good. It's good. It's
Good.
better than any ones I can get.
Good Lumi voice.
It's good.
Alright, let's do the rest of the
That's a-
session like this.
A 3.5-hour session, keeping that up would be fun.
Yeah.
So next session, guys, it's all Lumi. That's it. No one else turn
All
up. It's
Lumi.
just... no, it's good. I like it.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Because I think that's basically as close as I could ever get.
Yeah.
And I'll have to listen to it back to see how good it is.
See how it works.
But in my inner mind, that sounds okay.
Yeah, that's good. End of the day, you're doing voices before I am, so you're showing you got bigger balls than I do.
Yeah. We'll see. It may also be Suits of Blue's voice. We'll never know. Where are we? How long does it take you to prepare for each session?
Well, I give myself a month between sessions, so probably about a month.
Yeah.
Because it depends on how like the creativity flows, I guess, and that sounds so pretentious, but
I have to be in the zone.
It tends to be like we'll do the session, and then for the week after, I'll be like, right, and I'll plan the points for next time we're doing this. We're gonna have this involved. We're gonna introduce this, and we're gonna talk about this. And then once I've got them, I'm like, cool, I'm planned. And it kind of stops, and it's the kind of getting back into it to go, okay, now I need to actually make a plan out of this rather than just bullet points. So at the moment, I've got the bullet points for session 10. I know what's going to be involved and where we're going to go and what we're going to do, effectively, until obviously it changes, because it always fucking does.
You're going to burn down the forest.
Yes.
Fuck.
Going to burn down the forest, and someone's going to take the Tweety coin, and that's it.
Flip it 3 times. And
Flip it. Yep. And then, about a month to plan it all. In terms of how much time I actually use in that month, it's probably about 2 days worth. It gets there. It'll be more. I'll need to do more going ahead, because I've got half the map myself in the Photoshop little shitty tiles that I do. The whole bottom half I haven't touched yet, so I need to do that. So some weeks I can spend a few hours, and sometimes a few days. It ranges.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be one of those things you're gonna get better at, and then you're gonna just speed through it at some point.
Definitely.
So that's the thing. So like with my campaign, because we're gonna alternate months effectively.
Yeah, it'll be like, because mine's a month at the moment, and it'll be
Yeah,
2 week intervals kind of thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that as we both get better at it, then it will possibly, hopefully, at least I want to, do it every 2 weeks instead of every month kind of thing.
Yeah, really good.
So then we get like a session every week. And it's more confusing because you're like, which category am I playing?
Yeah, exactly.
Which it's fine for us, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like at the end, done.
But yeah, for everyone else, like, they're like, oh.
Yeah, but then if Mike's one comes into it as well, that'll be even more fun because it's like we're trying to figure out which weeks to do that one as well. But
yeah, I'm hoping that's going to be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Mike's to do a Saturday. It'll be fine. Be alright.
Ruin my recap time.
Yes.
But yeah, what is your favorite DM moment?
A lot of the improv last minute stuff I like the best because I can plan for everything, but then when it's kind of like I need to make this decision now, that's usually fun. So giving Phoebe the clothes and the reactions to that, deciding for no reason that his clothes are too tight, so the button's popping off, but then that's become a whole thing with Zuzu now.
Yeah.
Was great. As fucking sadistic as it sounds, fucking loved oddly our lister burning Tweety. As awful as it sounds, because after the session finished, I was like, I had plans for it being an illusion. It was going to be you take out the dryad and it drops, you injure it and it drops, you do this and you can talk to the Tweety and get him out of there and stuff. And nah, it was just hellish rebuke, fireball, dead. And in terms of like, I know how much this little like bird means to the characters. From a DM bit, I'm like, this changes everything now. Like it's the players are gonna change because of this. I always had a plan to bring Tweety back. It was never going to be Tweety's gone. Tommy came in a lot sooner than Tommy was meant to because Bag of Ashes could have made Amara carry that around for a few sessions, but I'm like, we've already just killed Tweety. Do we carry on with like more torture before bringing them back?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this, and I was like, this is one of those things that you obviously don't think of in the moment because you're on the spot. You're like, oh shit, Tweety's just died. What do I do? But like, I was wondering if it would have been better if like Tommy takes the ashes and then disappears and then comes back again in the future and here's your coin.
Yeah.
This is like the best I could do kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I always like the idea of the giant rock being Tweety and then having the coin and stuff. Yeah, there was maybe a thing of like Tommy taking the ashes and then in a few sessions you come back and all of a sudden there's just like a big shadow comes overhead.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, dragon! And then it's Tweety and it's just like, eh? But that could have been cool. But
that would have been amazing.
Yeah, but no. I've got a few other sort of callbacks to characters we've already met where stuff like that might happen, so that could be quite fun to see how that plays out. But yeah, I think it's just how people act and all the stuff that they come up with on the spot, even down to like, right, you got down on the day of downtime. What are you gonna do? And Corvath's just like, I'm hungover. I'm gonna eat all the bacon.
Yeah,
it's like I have to now DM all the bacon. Okay, let's. Yeah, that sort of shit. It's just the bits you can't plan for, I think, are the best. And the ones where you can have creative liberties, like names Scrapey slashing open Oliver's face.
Oh
just go boot my friend, and I was like, you didn't specify.
Yeah,
so, things that you can kind of Scrapey originally was so toned down and was just going to be a familiar who does what Zuzu says.
Yeah,
and it was in the minute I went, he's a demon. He's gonna be an asshole. He's gonna
They'd
very specific. So yeah, it's that creative freedom you can kind of give yourself sometimes is good fun.
I kind of feel like I know the answer to this next one.
Cool.
What was the greatest oh shit moment?
Probably Tweety.
Tweety.
Oh man, the oh shit moment, Tweety. And I think the first oh shit moment was second session when you met Matilda and I just said his name a minute ago before we started this. Bartholomew. Along with the mute Dragonborn one. Was when it was like, oh, we're going to follow the path south. And it's like, I haven't made that part of the map.
The map didn't exist.
The map didn't exist at this part yet. It's just a grey blob there. So how do we get them over that way? And he was like, oh, the pub's this way. And it's like, Zuzu members crying at the tree over there. So let's go this way. It's like, yes, that was the first. Oh shit, I haven't planned for this because there's nothing there. That was probably the first. But I think the biggest oh shit moment was Tweety.
Tweety. It's always Tweety.
Yeah.
Okay, if you made yourself into a D&D character, what would your stats be?
Oh shit, just shit.
All fives.
All but now. God knows. Strength would be average. Dexterity would be in my younger days better. Right now, not so much. Yeah, averages. Strength like 12. Dex like 8.
Yeah.
Probably more wisdom than intelligence. 'Cause I feel like I'm more sort of street smart than book smart.
Yeah.
So that kind of works out in that sort of sense. It's 4 stats. What do you want to?
Charisma.
Charisma. I feel like that would be quite high. I can talk to anyone about anything. I can usually talk myself out of anything because I feel like I'm quite,
16 or like 18, 20?
So I'll say 17. That's 17. It's a high, but not like, ooh, not thinking too much of yourself.
Yeah.
You need to have a good stat, and I think it'll be charisma if anything.
Constitution?
I could take a blow or two. I've never been in a fucking fight. So. God knows. I could probably take a few hits. So average but higher, 14 sort of thing. All fairly average with, probably dex and intelligence under the 10s, but then wisdom a bit higher.
Yeah.
If we're going for it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, what about yourself? What do you go? I know it's about me, but if we've got to do
this. Shit. Strength would be like 8 for sure.
Nice.
Dex probably like an 8. Con is probably all right, to be honest. Like a 12-ish. Int is probably quite high, like 17, 18.
Yeah, you was a bright bastard.
Wisdom a little bit less, like 13-ish.
I would have gone 14, but yeah.
14, yeah. Alright, yeah. Charisma, I don't know, like 2.
Charisma just walk up to someone and go, yes.
Hello. Bye.
No, it's good. I do feel like, because part of obviously, because Lumi's charisma is not exactly low, but the way Lumi's being played, because she's been quite a hermit for a while, it kind of lines up quite nicely, because it's like you're just playing someone who's like, I don't want to talk to people.
Yeah. So this kind of lines up with the next question, but Lumi's, one of her flaws is that she has like no social expectations or guidelines whatsoever, because she's been in a cave for so long.
Yeah.
So like it's really interesting because like when like she walked into like a tavern for the first time, she was like, "What do I do?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because she has no idea that you go to the bar, you order a drink or whatever. So like every time I kind of encounter a situation with her, I have to think about the social kind of guidelines of that specific situation.
Okay, yeah.
Like, is Zuzu picking up Fofi's button weird? She doesn't think it's weird. She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Or like Lyric buying a dress for whatever.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have any, prejudice against that or anything like that. So it's really interesting to kind of you play this really smart character.
Yeah.
That has no idea.
About any sort of
the social interactions are good or anything. So that's kind of why I think she's like in with this group. And like, it's one of the reasons why she asked about turning the castle into money, because Aralisa and Corvath were always talking about money this, money that, money that. So she's like, well, money must be important. So she comes up with this idea to use the castle because she is smart. So she's very, very kind of influenced by the party in that manner. It's cool. So the question that it relates to is what bonds, flaws, and stuff would you have?
Bonds, flaws, and stuff. With our current party, or just with...
For your character, for the Shoop character.
For the Shoop character. Okay, well, in this thing, or just as a general...
As a general... See, I can't even remember most of the bonds and flaws.
No. Bonds and flaws, they might be worth getting one up.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. I feel like, bonds in terms of like friendships and allies and stuff like that, I feel like they'd be quite a decent sort of list, because I feel like I can talk to pretty much anyone about anything. So I feel like I'll be able to make base level friendships just from chatting to people about stuff. Flaws would probably come down to like a confidence kind of level. I always feel like I don't have enough confidence in myself about something sometimes. That could always good difficult.
The old human barbarian difficult.
What a dude. What?
It's in description, isn't it?
Makes notes to remember that. Yeah, the background things always confuse me on this, because it's like, oh, you've got all this, and I'm like, no one ever plays that. Like, personal ones. Cool. Ideals, bonds. And
you have to choose like a background.
Okay, go for.
What would your background be?
Oh God knows. Entertainer. Go for it.
Well, that's a criminal spy.
Criminal spy. Yeah.
Instantly criminal spy.
Go entertainer, because it's there and it sounds about right. By popular demand. Nope.
Personality traits.
No story relevant to almost every situation. It's kind of talking to anybody about anything. Whenever comes to a new place, I collect local rumor. Nope. Hope it's romantic. To some degree. No one says angry at me for. I like to think I can calm people down if they're pissed at me, but yeah.
Oh, this one.
Love a good insult, yes.
Yeah, that's
Always
me. Yeah.
banter. Gotta have banter. Back and forth. It's good. Get bitter if I'm not the centre of attention. No, that's more of an Oliver trait. Settle for nothing less than perfection. I feel like I expect that from myself and anything I put out, and then I need to remind myself that like it's fine to not have it all perfect.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I get more down about sessions I haven't planned for, and why after them I was like, yeah, sorry if that one's a bit shit, and everyone's like, it was fun, really enjoyed it, because I have got in not having everything planned. I feel like I've let myself down, but I know you can have a bit of fun with it. So yeah, change of mood quickly. Recently more. Yeah, I think lockdowns hit hard with that one. Getting serious, we peeps. But yeah, that one sort of thing. Ideals, beauty, tradition, no. Creativity, yes. Greed, ooh, I'd like money. Would like some money. Peeps, yeah. Ideals, lots of people, lots of smiles on people's faces, make them all happy. Yeah, I'd say people, honesty, creativity, all that sort of good stuff.
Bonds.
See, instrument, I like musical sort of stuff. I haven't played instruments in years. Keep thinking about picking it back up. I'm just like, oh, it's effort, isn't it? Somebody stole my instrument. No. I'll be famous. I mean, kind of why I'm doing Twitch, really, I guess, to some degree. So
why not, right?
I won't be famous, but I'd like to have like an impact on people, I guess. So that kind of comes under that. Idolize a hero. Well, Zam's my hero, but anything to prove myself? No, but like I have a lot of different stuff I try to go through to kind of do it. So yeah, I guess it's the whole want to make an impact on the world and be semi-famous, I guess. Anything for other members? Yeah, definitely that. Definitely, I like to think I'm kind of would like to look out for everybody in my group and do what's best by them. So yeah.
Flaws.
Oh, do anything for fame? No, I wouldn't do anything. Sucker for pretty face? Probably. Probably. Yeah. Let's face it. Scandal prevents me from ever going, I can't talk about that one. Shut up,
No, not the scandal.
Not the scandals. I once, can't read that from here. Say to a noble who still wants my head. I feel like I wouldn't piss that many people off, so that should be fine. Trouble keeping my feelings hidden? Yeah, probably that. I'm alright at poker, but other than that, I can just tell it as it is. Despite efforts, I am unreliable to my friends. Unreliable with plans, not unreliable with stuff.
Yeah.
Like it would be, we'll do this in a few weeks. Oh, I fucking forgot. We'll do it next week. So yeah. Cool. There we go. Don't know if that helped answer a lot. That was a lot of rambling in between, but there you go.
Yeah. I think that's everything, almost everything about you.
Nice.
But this is a really interesting question.
Okay.
So you're applying for a job interview with
Nice.
a big bad evil guy.
Ooh.
What special skills would you highlight that you possess? But you are actually a good guy.
Okay, so I'm a good guy applying to work for the bad guy.
Yeah. So how would you apply to the job interview to sound as evil as possible, but actually you're a goody two shoes?
It'd have to go the whole talkative route, I guess. Try and convince them that I've like done shit that I haven't, and make up examples of like stuff that I've done that would be considered. It would be probably a case of saying like, oh yeah, I've done all this bad shit, and it would be listing off things that I've seen other people do, but claim it as my own.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I did this, and I've done this, and I know about this person, and oh, you don't want to mess with me if I do this, because I can, There's all the stuff that I've like seen people do, and I'm like, that's bad. Don't go to that person, and I'll tell that story as I did it. I guess would be the best way to do it, because as we've seen from my stats, I ain't about to overpower them. It's an interview, why would I want it? But yeah, it's going to mostly have to go down to the whole trying to either outwit them or convince them that I'm something that I'm not.
Yeah.
Blag my way through it. I reckon I'll have a decent shot at blagging. Definitely a roll of advantage for blagging my way through it. But
what I really like about this question is the concept of someone who has like no idea what evil is.
Yeah.
Going like, so what makes you so evil? Well, I built Lego without the instruction booklet. And like all of the instructions. I mix my washing. I mix the whites from the reds. And like all of these like.
I paid for some goods and got overchanged and didn't give it back.
Yeah. So evil.
Quite a bad guy, me. Don't want to mess with me.
All right. So now we're on
Across
to the...
the streets when the lights are amber.
Yeah.
Instantly get shot.
Yeah, so now we're on to the campaign.
Cool.
What was the favourite RP moment from the campaign?
Your RP moment. Ooh. There's some good stuff for different reasons as well. The whole urine gag, great, love it. Mike just on the fly calling him urine and that's sticking, love it. Great, fucking brilliant.
Daffy Duck as well.
Yeah, Daffy Duck. Stuff with Foshy Bear. Fovey, all that sort of shit. Best RP moments from that lot. Trying to think of all the other stuff that people have done. Probably the like evolving friendship between Oliver and Amara. Oliver and Lily. So like there's a lot of RP going on there. With like Lily doesn't like bullies, and from the first interaction, Oliver was being a dick to the horses, and then they've kind of overcome that, and then got closer from it, and like Lily still doesn't trust him, but he's like nice. But like will heal you, but don't be a dick.
Yeah,
like that sort of. Yeah, I think that's the best that comes from that is the people chatting to each other and stuff. Aralista wanting to just burn every corpse she finds.
Yeah.
Just can't burn it. I'm gonna burn it. And then Korvath stepping in, being like, just no fire for 2 seconds. Yeah, it's not too bad. I quite like as well, just because of how underprepared I was for it. Like the whole thing with the kids when we first found them was so underplanned, and it was such a throwaway, shitty moment. But Oliver just like throwing disgust and like spitting and stuff like that, and pretending to vomit at the kids. It was like I hadn't planned the kids, and that was a kind of throwaway. Almost 5 minutes left. There's kids now, and then Oliver like doing the faces, and Aralista kind of like slapping them and stuff. Like I think it mostly comes from moments where like I've not planned the story that well, so it's kind of taken over by RP and then becomes something quite memorable, which works quite nicely.
Okay. Describe a moment where the players did something completely random and you had to improvise.
God, there's so many fucking sessions, and there's probably so many bits. I think most of it's improv at this point. So I'm like, what's
all improv?
Mostly happened to change it and stuff. Probably the first one was probably the movement from going not to the Dark Woods but going down instead. Was kind of like, I've not planned any of this. So it was like, shit, there's a big tower and all this lot. I had the time between sessions to do it, but that was a lot of making shit up last minute. I'm trying to think of the biggest, really, like in the moment. I was like, oh fuck, I need to make this one up. I know there's been some because I know we've spoken about them in the chats after sessions, but I can't. Top me up, I really can't think of anything that's really standing out.
No, I think we've kind of been surprisingly on track.
There's been some bits where I've been like, oh, fuck, I wasn't planning for this at all. But yeah, I've managed to make it. I don't really think, because most of it's kind of been I've said something which has then led into some RP, so it's kind of fixed itself without me needing to be like, oh fuck, change everything. I think it's mostly been okay. We've not really had any moments here where it's kind of been like, here's a friendly NPC, and then you're all kind of just like, I'll stab it. It's like, oh, fuck, now I've got to check. Yeah, there's never been too many moments that have really caught me off guard. So so far it's been, nothing springs to mind. So that kind of went, makes me think nothing's too crazy.
Yeah, none of the characters are chaotic, right?
No, I don't think any of them.
They don't seem it.
I think if anything, it'll be Aralista. Might be like neutral chaotic. I can't remember. To be honest, I bet it looks like alignments because I'm like, you guys are playing that as you should be.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anyone's really chaotic. If there was going to be any, it'd be either Oliver or Aralista, in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are. I think everyone's pretty neutral. So yeah, so far it's all been nothing too standoutish.
Now here's the big question.
Oh, here we go.
Who's the favourite character?
Oh, I love everyone. Tweety, but he's fucking dead now, so got to pick a new one. I don't know. I think per session it changes based on the RP in the time. Like Oliver was the favourite for one session just because like we first came in and he's just like, these horses are shit, this carriage is shit, I'm not fighting, go do this. It changes sort of time to time. I feel like I've always got a soft spot for Lily. She's just cute. Yeah, I love Lily. She's so cute, but she doesn't take any shit. Now she's the MILF bonker. It's like, oh, she's next level now.
That's it.
She's absolute next level now. She can't be topped. No, I love everyone. I love them all equally. All the stories are great. even the ones who didn't have much of a backstory, as it's gone on, like their stories evolved. So to start off with, I might not have been so attached because I was like, I don't really know much about them. But since coming in, yeah, like Lyric and like Korvax was quite a detailed backstory, but even then it was kind of just like taken as a kid fighting, and it wasn't really a lot to sort of go from there. But Korvax become a really developed character, which I really like seeing.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of characters haven't really seen much development yet, whereas others have.
Yeah, and again, like this, I mean, Korvath is probably the only one so far who's had a lot of in-character development.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the others have had like character development based on like the team and the growth.
Yeah.
So like Olivar's become a bit less of a dick. Lily's become more trusting and stuff because of interactions with the group. In terms of what we know about them, it's still quite limited for most people. I think of what you guys. I think Lyric is probably the most, and Lumi, most mysterious at this point. Because I think the only thing we know about Lyric is the army background.
Yeah.
And Lumi.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't think anything actually.
Nothing to do with
like,
Lumi.
Can I say anything? I'm like, no, we haven't actually said nothing about it.
No one's asked about Lumi.
Nah, it's kind of just been Lumi's there.
She's there.
Yeah. She does the doodles. She's got the book and she doodles. That's it.
That
There's
is
not really...
it.
So yeah, Lumi's actually, Lumi's the biggest mystery at the moment.
We've had nothing from Aurelius except for she used to work in a bar.
Yes.
That's all.
And even then, I had to remind her she told me that. So,
yeah.
Yeah. To be fair with that, I've changed half of Aurelius's backstory and told Becca, and yeah, she signed off on that being fine. But I've changed her backstory. I haven't even told Becca, so she doesn't actually know half the backstory. But that'll be a nice surprise for her along with the rest of the party when it reveals itself, which will be cool.
We don't know too much about Zuzu. We know he was running away from debt, and that's about it.
Yeah, ran away from debt. Wanted some people to hang out with because of debt. Yeah, pretty much it. Has a certain aversion to certain places and doesn't want to go back. That's about it.
Yeah, but we don't technically know that.
No, that's all been.
We don't technically know that.
Technically, it's all been, yeah. I guess there's been like a small hint because it was kind of like talking about what things were happening, and he kind of, whenever places were mentioned, he was just like, "Oh, let's talk about this one. Let's talk about that place instead.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that." So it's not really been.
There's some subtleties.
Yeah.
Happening.
So it's it's still a lot of mystery for most people and stuff. There's still a lot of mystery with Korvath, when we know his entire backstory is still a lot because his backstory is quite hazy. Like he doesn't really know who the fuck he is or where he comes from.
Yeah.
So it's he's a fighter who deals with rocks. He's good at it.
So.
Yeah.
Which character in the campaign, if they were real, could you never be friends with?
Oliver.
And why?
Oliver. He's dick.
He's a dick.
It'd be so condescending. And think about how he strives for like perfection on this one. My life would be a fucking hell for that guy. He'd be like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? Sort this out. Sort this out. Do this. Do that.
He's got all that rich guy money. Like.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't see a penny of it, would I? Have you guys seen
anything?
Anything? Fair enough, the daddy cut him off. He hasn't got any money at the moment. But yeah, Oliver. Do you have to think about that? 100%. He's an amazing character, but we could not be friends. Yeah. And then maybe Aralis, a close second. Can't be afraid I'd be burnt alive in my sleep.
Yeah.
Just because she likes burning corpses. She'd want to try it out on a real person at some point, and I feel like it'd be me. So I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Would you like to go for a night of drinking? So which character would you like to go for a night of drinking with?
Lily.
Really?
Because Lily only drinks like the soft stuff. So we've only seen once where she got accidentally drank the stuff Korvath was drinking.
Yeah.
She got drunk. But yeah, a night drinking with Lily. Start off on the soft stuff, but then just see how she goes as she gets more and more pissed. Because it'd be funny seeing the different state. I feel like you see much Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I've seen clips.
There's Amy Santiago has the drunk versions. It's like one drink Amy dances, two drink Amy's a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
So like that's Lily. But Lily would have different stages of personality based on how drunk she gets.
Yeah.
So that could be quite cool. Korvath would be fun, but he'd drink me under the table, so I wouldn't be able to keep up with that. I'd be passed out way before anything happened. Yeah, probably Lily. Lily could be fun. Lily could be fun. I feel like if you went with like Lumi, it would be more refined. I feel like Lumi would kind of, again, it doesn't have the whole social awareness, but would kind of just have like the wines. It would be quite a refined evening with some wines and a chat, maybe.
Yeah.
Whereas yeah, I'd want to see something get crazy. So Lily get progressively more drunk because like dancing on tables. That'd be funny. I reckon that'd be good.
Which character would you trust the most? Who's going to keep your secrets, Shoop?
Mine goes to Lumi, but I'm like, she'll probably write it in a book. If someone steals the book, then it's all out there. Yeah, probably Lumi. I reckon Lumi's quite, just because of the whole thing of we don't fuck all about her. So in terms of like
She's kept her own secret. Very
Exactly.
well.
So she'll keep mine fine.
Yeah.
Unless I guess it will. You can use it in leverage in some way. But yeah, probably Lumi.
Yeah.
Probably Lumi from that. Definitely not Zuzi. Definitely not Zuzi. I feel like he's bottom of the trust list with like secrets.
I don't know. I feel like Lyric would be an interesting one.
Lyric would be good. Lyric would be a good one to do as well. Yeah, Lyric would be a good one to go drinking with as well, but Lily more fun because she's tiny and drinks soft stuff. So when it comes to anything hard, it will be interesting to see how quickly that turns.
Who would you ask for help in a fight? I think this one's pretty obvious.
Korvath.
Yeah.
Korvath. Yeah, Korvath or Lyric.
Well,
because Lyric's the whole hiding in trees, got the bow and arrows, and is all sneaky. Like Lyric could just hide and not be known until like last minute. So, but yeah, if it was intimidation factor, Korvath. Like, look what I've brought.
You don't want Lumi, who's been hit for a total of 6 hit points the entire campaign.
It comes in good with the range, but then if you've got somebody who's helping out from a range, I'm the one up front getting punched in the face.
That's true.
So
I'd
rather take the Zuzu approach of hide behind Korvath and go.
Give you that mage armor.
Could get the mage armor.
Yeah.
Could be good. Could be good. But then I could also do the same with Lily and get the old bark skin. So,
yeah.
But now Korvath, human meat shield.
Yeah, for sure. Who would you be best friends with? It's a tricky one.
Yeah, it is. Maybe Lyric.
Yeah.
Maybe Lyric. It's tough because everyone's got their own quirks and their own kind of like. It's more who, I guess, who would you get to know the quickest and get to know the best the quickest as well.
Yeah.
It's been 10 sessions and we don't know enough about Lumi, so I ain't gonna know nothing about that. Olivar's already, we wouldn't get along. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I reckon it would be Lyric, because we know quite a decent amount about Lyric's personality. Not about past, but we know a lot about how Lyric acts and stuff.
One of his personalities.
One of the personalities, yeah. But yeah, I feel like Lyric would be one who, yeah, you could talk to and get close to quite quickly. Yeah, probably Lyric. Like Aralista as well, I reckon we're quite friendly. You could get along with really well. But if she's getting run out of towns where you're trying to stay the night, it's kind of like, for fuck's sake, back on their own again.
Yeah.
So far, we haven't seen much racism against tieflings and stuff. But yeah.
Is it coming?
It's a coming.
It's a coming.
It's a war.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, it's not just about tieflings. There's going to be loads of different things for like people and personalities and stuff as well. So far, it has been quite pleasant and friendly because I've been more finding my feet in terms of doing the sessions and like DMing it instead of trying to add extra aspects of like role play and racism and stuff as well. While the whole religion front's been kept quite abstract as well because it's like a lot of extra things to bring in. So like the religion stuff, I'm quite set with being more of a like a thing you pray to rather than actual like religion set around it and stuff. And that's kind of, I guess, where the racism thing will come in. There'll be bits where it will be like people get shunned or you just don't get admittance and stuff. There won't be so much as kind of like lynchings in the street and shit because that's a lot of stuff to try and bring in without going over boundaries and stuff. And yeah, I don't know.
I don't mind like murdering a whole town.
Oh yeah, no problem with that.
That would be fun.
But yeah, no, there is stuff coming in. There is plans for it and stuff, and there is places. Again, each town from the get-go had already sort of been like, what race occupies them mostly, what's their kind of like leadership like, and how do they deal with outsiders and stuff. And that all encompasses the kind of like racism and religion approach as well. That's like who they would and wouldn't like in the town, who wouldn't benefit their cause and stuff like that. And Clearwater's always been just one that takes in a bit of anyone really, which is why all the shop vendors are like different races and different peoples and stuff, because they just are happy to have whoever, because after the whole war in the past, they just don't discriminate anymore.
They just don't care.
Because that's what caused the war before. Obviously, that's only in the top corner of the map we've seen so far. There's still many more towns down the bottom we haven't been to yet.
Many more.
Many more.
There's one place that I'm kind of interested to see how it would work, which relates to Lumi's backstory.
Oh yeah.
So I can't say too much.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I know where you're going with that. Yeah.
Not the village, but the flame.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I'd be really interested to see if we go there and see how that works out.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm thinking we probably will. I'm thinking at some point we probably will. It'd be cool. I think the plan is to tackle everyone's backstory in some capacity at some point. So depending on where we go, it will definitely bring up. So that could be cool. It could be good. And the map's expanded since we started because there's been places we've made up and mentioned that I've been like, right, this person's from here. That's not on the map. Add that to the map. The person's been here. That's not on the map. Add that. So yeah, I think since we started, I've added 4 new towns to the map because they weren't there originally.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, one of them's been burnt down because that was. Oh, where the fuck were Matilda and Bartholomew.
Oh, the place in the south. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
in the south.
I can. Find it real quick.
But yeah, their place. Something Shire, something.
Oh, it'll be in my notes.
But yeah, them. Where they're from. Big made up place that are in the moment made up.
I destroyed it. From Windshire.
Windshire, that's the one. Which yeah, was just made up, and that's kind of like right. Add that to the map. Add that one there. Something to do with Lyric's backstory. We sort of told about a place and stuff, and that wasn't an existing place, so that's now been added. Yeah, cool.
Which character would hate you the most?
Probably Oliver. I would,
Yeah.
probably Oliver. To be honest,
Two-way street.
Yeah, probably a two-way sort of street. And again, if I was going back to the whole, if I was the D&D character, I feel like my whole trait would be the blagging my way out of stuff, and I feel like that's also kind of Oliver's thing. I feel like if we were competing to make up stories to get out of situations, we'd get on each other's nerves because it's like who would be able to get out of the situation first and stuff. So yeah, probably Oliver. And he's like rich and got daddy's money and shit, and I'm just like I never done that shit. So yeah, probably Oliver. Yeah. I like to think the rest would be alright with me, but yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, should be right.
Yeah, I think Oliver is the most
Just by the
controversial is the word I'm going to use, but yeah.
The one most capable of hate.
Confrontational.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, because Aralista wouldn't really hate you unless you pissed her off. Korath seems to be a big, like, he seems like a menace, but actually he's quite nice to everyone.
He's a big softy.
Yeah, he's not anybody who's there. Lily's just lovely. Lyrics, once Lyric trusts you, I think they'll be fine. It's the whole getting Lyric to trust you. Zuzu, I don't feel like Zuzu has a bad bone in his body. I feel like he doesn't know what evil is. I feel like he's the one who crosses amber lights and is like, no, did they see? And now he's got a little demon following him around, which is brilliant. Yeah, I feel like it all kind of works out quite nicely. So yeah, probably only fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which story are you looking most forward to? And why is it Loomies?
Loomies is going to be really interesting because the way I've planned it is Loomies quite closely ties into part of the overall campaign. That ties into part of that quite nicely. So Loomies is going to be good because when we get to that point, I feel like we would have made decent progress into the campaign, which at the moment, like, we don't really know much about the campaign.
Yeah, we're just kind of aimlessly wandering around.
Yeah.
There's no like overarching issue.
Yeah, it's like there's been ways to tie it in, but I've never really found a nice way to do it. And because of the whole history of the area with the war and stuff, it's like all of what's happening in the world and all the story hasn't really reached up Clearwater because they don't listen to much of like the outside stuff because they've got their own stuff dealing with.
Yeah.
So yeah, when that starts coming in, that'll be cool. Yeah, Loomies will be really good. Lily's will be really good to do because Lily's is one that every time I plan stuff for, I go, oh yeah, we'll do this. Oh wait, no, I can't because that's not how that works. Okay, cool. Based on the backstory I've heard from Amara and stuff, it's like, oh, we'll do this. No, wait, that's not in the backstory. Okay, so Amara's has been challenging to plan. Aralistas as well will probably be sooner than Loomies. And because I've changed it and not told Becca, I'm excited to see the reaction from that. It should be good. Yeah, all of them are going to be great in their own different ways. Yeah, again, it goes back to the whole planning thing though, and me wanting perfection from it all. I feel like if I don't plan it properly, it won't pay off as good. Like I really feel like shitty about Korath's one because I'm like it could have been so much more. And I kind of hastily last minute was just like it's just a big 2-session long fight against an arsehole. But yeah, there's more ways to tie in the Korath stuff, so I'm doing more going forwards, which will be good. I hope you make up for that. But Mike's happy with it, likes it, but I just I could have done better. So yeah, everyone's will be really good. Loomies is probably going to be the biggest impacting one, but I think our listeners will probably get the best reactions because even she doesn't know what the fuck's happening. So that's the one where it's like, yeah, it should be really good. Lyrics is probably the one I have the least planned for because it's confusing.
I was going to say, do you have to plan 4 different?
Well, yeah, even that's like Lyrics one is now that we don't have Samson and Delilah with us as much because obviously they've dropped out of the campaign because of times and stuff. Characters still exist in the world, but a lot of Lyrics' backstory tied in with them. because they're obviously a trio together.
Yeah.
So now they're not playing as much. It's going to be figuring out how much the backstory can be tweaked to not include them, to make it more of a payoff worth Lyric doing their own adventure, rather than it being kind of thing focused on a backstory of all three of them at once. You'll have to be translating it to how it works for just Lyric. We can still tie in bits of all three of them because they're still in the world and they've given me their permission to use the characters. So we'll still have them show up and be part of the backstory stuff as well. But yeah, it'll be tweaking Lyrics. So yeah, Lyrics will be interesting to see where I go with it because I don't know what I'm doing yet. But yeah, that could be cool. So yes. Anything else?
How scared were you of all of us dying in the last episode?
Not too much, to be honest. It was. I feel like it was the first. I mean, I feel like I've taken off the plot armor gloves and stuff, but like even some fights have been quite. There were still bits in there that I was like, oh yeah, it could help and stuff. And to be fair, the last one, arguably, I could have let it play out until the elemental died, rather than the cork stopping it as per the original plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, because then that could have got more dangerous and stuff. But yeah, the only real threat so far have been Korvath 1v1 in his backstory, and then all of a sudden it's like, and there's more guys, and you're on 2 health. It's like, oh, well.
Yeah.
And then potentially stuff in the last session. But I don't feel like it was that bad in the last session. Korvath took a lot. Zuzu went down.
Zuzu didn't go down. He was on 1.
He was on 1. He went down.
Lily went down.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fair, all the damage and the downing was like towards the end of it anyway. So I was like, even if they finish the combat, they got time then to get them back up. So yeah, it's not been too bad. The elemental was definitely hitting a lot harder than I thought it would. Because reading the stats, I was like, this isn't going to do too bad. Yeah. But because I obviously manually roll for all of their health and for every attack, rather than just using it does this much damage on the card.
Yeah,
that made it kind of go, well, this is the average. And both its rolls were like way above average. It was like, oh shit. But then equally, so was Alice's Hellish Rebuke. Was quite a bit higher than average.
That was like 99.9%.
I think it was 2. I think it was 2 max dice rolls, and then
and
1
9.
and a slightly lower ones. It was just like
It was like 29 out of 30.
Yeah,
it's huge.
So yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, not too bad. There's some stuff now that I've seen how tough the elemental is. I'm going to have to go back to my plans and go, how tough's that thing in comparison? Because there's some fights I'm like, oh, you breeze for this. But now after seeing the last fight, I'm like, oh, it might not.
Yeah, but is it like the movement that made the elemental hard, or was it?
I think it probably was because I think the fighting style so far has been everyone range Korvath tank.
Yeah. And
then with it moving 90 feet at a time, it kind of removed Korvath from the fight because he could only sprint 60. So Korvath hit it once or twice and had to focus on the ads because he just couldn't touch it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why that one made it tricky, I think. Whereas some of the monsters coming up are just tough, which could be cool. Annoyingly, I have a really cool plan for a thing, and I'm like, I can't really use those creatures because I've used them in my backstory for your campaign. I really wanted to use those creatures, which is why I had the idea for the backstory, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm using them now. So I could bring them in, but they won't be as cool because it's like, I've done something better with them, so I've got other creatures to do instead. But yeah, it should be cool. Annoying thing is there's lots of creatures and feats stuff I want to use because I've got obviously like most of the books now.
Yeah.
But on D&D Beyond, I don't have most of the books, so it's like I want to use this. I don't own it on D&D Beyond, so how the fuck do I? So unless I actually go through and just make everything homebrew, but use that text and just make it as a homebrew creation to go into the campaign, so it saves me spending £100 on like new books online and stuff.
Or you could just buy the individual feats. I don't know if that's worth it as well.
Yeah, I think there's some of them that might be worth doing that. Technically, Cohen and Neo is all part of our campaign, and Cohen's got like all the books, and he pays for the one where you can share stuff. So I could just be like, "Hey, dude, do you want to share your books in the campaign for us?" Just, yeah, maybe that'll work, but a bit cheeky, but we'll see. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. Nice. I was gonna ask something else, but I think I've forgotten it. How many bills have we seen?
You've met.
See, I know of 3.
Which ones have we met?
There's the one that died.
There's the one who was in Waterfront, who Oliver became with Disguise 7.
Yeah.
So there's one in Waterfront. There's
the one that other people don't know about, but I know about in Morningswood.
Yes. I know the group I've seen 2. Because that's why the bill being in Waterfront was kind of like, there's another one. Because I know you've seen one before. I feel like it was in
Well, the original was Zuzu's made up bill, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was where it all started from. But I'm sure there was one. I think there's one in Clearwater that we have seen. Can't remember. In terms of people that we've potentially you could have run into, I think by this point there's 5.
So we could have seen
I
5
think by this point
bills.
there's 5 potential bills that could have been in it,
Okay.
which could have been cool. But yeah. Problem with the whole bill thing is it becomes such a trope now. I'm just like, put one in every town, but then I forget where I've actually put one. So
Yeah.
it's like, but yeah. But by this point, 5 bills.
Does
But
Wilbur go by Bill?
Will Bill? Wilbur the Bear Bill?
Bill?
Yeah. No, Wilbur's not a bill.
Okay,
Correct,
okay.
not a bill.
Good clarification on that.
And neither is Talaran. I don't know how Talaran would work as a bill, but yes. Talaran again was just me wanting to put myself in the game somehow. And it's like, I've made this character for another campaign we didn't play, so I'm putting him in this one. Same as how I put Buck in Cuckoos, which you guys immediately distrusted and threw in the fucking in the brick.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is my way of putting me in the game. And you're like, get in the fucking jail. It's like, oh.
Always
Poor Buck.
kill Shoop's characters.
Yep.
Instantly.
Always. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it so far. At least now I know how your campaign's on the go. If it's always kill Shoop's character, it's like, my poor dude. Forget his name.
Don't worry, you'll kill yourself. I won't need to do anything.
Yeah. Oh, I've genuinely forgot my own guy's name.
Like Chazzik?
Chazzik Jut. That's it.
Chazzik
I knew
Jut?
Jut was the surname. It's like, yeah. I was thinking, is it? I'm going to go Razuk, but that's Cuckoo. That's Cuckoos. Yeah, it's Chazzik, I think. Chazzik.
Chazzik? It's got like a...
Chazzik.
Chazzik.
Chazzik Jut. And my friend Branch, who I didn't until I was like, oh, I like the name. Sounds cool. We'll go with Branch. And then it was later on in the day I went, Branch is the main character out of the fucking is it a Smurfs movie? Not a Smurfs one. What's the Trolls? Trolls movie. You got Branch as the main character in that. I was like, fuck's sake. But yeah, because it's Broken Branch is my my friend in that. And then we got my Branch. And it wasn't until later on in the day I was like, oh, that's from Trolls. Fuck's sake. But committed.
Too late. It's in...
Yeah. And then his dad's Thomas, which again later on I was like, that's the main character of Maze Runner. Just Thomas. It was like, fuck's sake. Originality, this guy. Cool. Right, we're running for nearly an hour now.
Yeah, I was kind of you got anything? Any last comments for the last 3 minutes? We'll try and round it off at the exact hour.
Not really new. Need to get some planning done. The rest of that sorted. Excited for stuff that comes up. Excited to see where the main story kind of reveals itself. Because at the moment I know plot points, but it's trying to figure out where that links in and how it can kind of be brought up with people and stuff, which will be quite interesting. I'm excited about it. It'll be kind of cool. Some NPCs we've yet to meet. That was made for fun, and I quite like some of them. And some of them got really wacky personalities, so that'll be quite fun to meet. Should be quite cool. Yeah, it's just different people and places and when to throw them in, because obviously towns have all got set stories going to happen and stuff, and then biggest excitement coming up is going to be the wedding, because I haven't got a fucking clue how this is going to play out, because it was started off as a gimmick and it was going to be a thing that's going to make Oliver's going to want to do this, and then we'll go from there. And now everyone's committed, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be at least a session or two on this wedding thing, and it could be fucking hilarious. So
that's
very exciting.
That's the point where, like, that was the question about what was somebody done that's like so unexpected.
Yeah.
That is the point, I think, where that question will be answered.
Yes.
Because
that's a good point. That's to be fair, even the whole thing right off the bat, it was like, it's in 10 days. We're going now. It's like, oh shit, I haven't planned for them going now. And other stuff, we're going now. And luckily Looney was like, woods? And I was like, yes. Focus on the woods.
Woods. Go to the woods.
Chase will come in and be like, woods, please.
Woods.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think, the crazy shit that can happen from players will definitely be at the wedding party. That'll be brilliant. That'll be really good. I feel like we need to get some there has to be like a little montage of people like trying on the tuxes and all the suits and the dresses and stuff, and it'd be amazing. Be awesome. But yeah, you see if Zuzu gets a giant hat or not, because that wasn't done as part of the decryption thing, but might be fun just to mess with him. Just to mess with him. But yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, it'll be good. I think that, and seeing what happens with Oliver in the next session, because if Zayon stuck to what he said, he hasn't looked at the last session at all.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't going to look at that.
So we're not allowed to look at this video.
So going into the next session, oh yeah, we should put that at the start. But yeah, going into the going into the next session and seeing how it works with Oliver and stuff like that would be quite cool because it's other stuff that he doesn't know about just yet. Fun. Cool. Nearly an hour. Thanks for sticking with, peeps. Appreciate you listening to me ramble on about some shit.
Yeah, and thanks for playing up with me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no worries. It's all good.
Bye.
Bye. But now, stop!